Well, good morning, good morning. Here's the Casper wants to come up. Come up, come up. There, the boy, there he is. There we are. Good morning, good morning. I'm Harry Morgan Moses. At 8:30, Casper and I are going to go on for our 20 minutes of Coffee with Casper. I got my coffee, I got my Casper. Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know that you can hear me. Yep, there we are. We're live on Facebook. That means we're on YouTube. We are happening. Casper and I. There we go. We're glad you're here. Glad you're finding us. Very nice to see you this morning, Candace. Good deal. From Palm Desert. Alejandro, the marvelous Alejandro. Hola, Alejandro. How are you, my friend? See, you're still doing your thing. Your big boy's growing up so nice. Nicely. Good morning, Loretta from Boise. Nice to see you. I bet you Dave's nearby and probably Toby, too. Sending love to everybody up there. Good to see you. From Idaho. Idaho. I used to ski in Sun Valley years ago. All righty. Well, we're glad you're live. It's 8:29. We're going to gong ourselves in just 1 second here. Oh, Candace says it's going to be 113 in Palm Desert today. Yay. Trust those air conditioners keep working. All righty. There's 8:30, so we're going to gong ourselves in, knowing the rest of the gang is going to be checking in as we go along the way. And good morning to you. I'm Harry Morgan Moses, and this is Coffee with Casper. We're going to take 2 big deep breaths in. We're going to let out the sound, like relaxing, and at the end of the breath, here we go. Big deep breath in. And relaxing the shoulders. Now we're going to do one more time. Big deep breath in. Let the energy come up into your heart center, relaxing the whole body, and just allowing ourselves to be present here for the next 20 minutes. Well, I've had 2 weeks out on the ocean, out on the island. They often say, Deepak Chopra in all his wonderful books often spoke of meditation is not the thought, it's the gap between the thoughts. And when you take a time to really vacate, to let go of the world and just be present where you are, I happen to love being on the water, and your thinking gets broader. As your thinking gets broader, your input, you're able to receive, you're able to hear what the silence, which is actually multiple layers of communication, is trying to communicate to you through your high self. Everybody has a high self. We call that high self the I am present. Hola, Ann from Honolulu. Nice to see you this morning. I've seen all your pretty meditations from your beach out there that you like. Sandy Beach, I think you call it. Anyway, so what we're wanting to do is be able to listen to that high self. Meister Eckhart, the 12th century mystic, said the soul has 2 faces. One is gazing at the glory of God, of the allness of life, and the other is directing your senses, trying to communicate to your so far finite capabilities so that you can listen and hear what the psalmist called the still small voice. Hey, Peter McCook is alive. Mr. Captain flying over Oregon in his 70s all the time, all solo. You're a brave captain. I go out in the boat, but I'd rather have a crew. Anyway, we're glad you're here. So what we've been talking about before we took this 2-week break, what we've been talking about is the call of the hour and the call of the summer. So Ernest Holmes, in his wonderful book, The Science of Mind, written almost 100 years ago, said this, that we are looking to understand that we can see through the mist. Through the mist would be the confusion of the human race, that we can see through the mist into the eternal and changeless reality. If we see through the mist, we remember the old saying from the Tibetan Book of the Dead, we came from the light, we're put on a coat of skins, that's why it's called incarnate, to make flesh, right? We put on a coat of skins, and we know, as Joel Goldstein says, that the coat of skins is a parenthesis in eternity. We came from eternity, we came from the light, we're going to return to eternity, and we're here in this personal objective form in this body for a lifetime, however long that lifetime is. And so what we want to do is know that we came as consciousness aware of the I am that I am, and that we will leave as consciousness aware of the I am that I am, knowing that love never dies, that all of our family and friends and connections and places where we have been a beneficial presence have made an impress on the universe as we came to do. And as I believe, everyone who's tuning in with Coffee with Casper are metaphysicians, meaning we look at that was in front of but behind. We're trying to see through the mist of the confusion of humanity into the higher order of being, which is a universe of love, in love, for love, of equality, justice, freedom, victory, prosperity, health, happiness, love, success, in the four areas of life: health, wealth, love, and purpose, right? We want to be able to be healthy in all of those areas and know that our impress on the universe is good. So now we flash forward to today, July 28th, 2026, and we read the headlines about the war, about the violence, about young people, sometimes younger than, way younger than 21, 15, 16, 70, all confusing, grabbing arms, being filled with violence. What we see, war progressing instead of retreating. We are not looking in the, if we look at the mist, the confusion of humanity, we will see all of that confusion. And now what we're asked to do as people who came from the light to aid in an awakening world, and a world that lets go of the misconceptions of the past and begins to recognize one life in, as, and through, that the heartbeat beating in me is the same heartbeat. It's a different heart, but it's the same beat. That which gives the heart power is the same source. So we are all belonging to the one. We came from the one. We will return to the one. And I believe we came with a mission and purpose. And in this case, among all of us dialoguing here, right, in this case, we came to help make an awakening world. That's why we called the call of the summer. And you might remember what I said is, when you look at the confusion of the world, even if you look at a situation like the shooting in Seattle at a food fair, I mean, really, that's just misconception falling out into the world and creating a bad vibration, multiplying bad vibrations. We look at that and we go, well, what can we do about that? And the answer is, you can know that everybody involved, those that appear to be victims and those that appear to be assaulters, are all coming from the same source, and there's a lack of awareness of the higher order, therefore a need to lash out, right? And what we need to do is, every time we see that, we need to put the words, may not know what that divine right action looks like, but we need to put the words, divine right action prevails. We need to fill that space with the possibility of a greater good for each of those souls who are equal to us in every way, right? To come out of their ignorance. Ignorance creates disaster, and the only thing that solves ignorance is knowledge. Wisdom alone is the only thing that can heal. And you and I here gathered with Coffee with Casper. Let me know where you are. We see Peter up in Bend, Oregon, and we see Ann in Hawaii. There's Michael Byers checking in, the wonderful singer, talented, great giver of love to so many in the world, so many that he's fostered and takes care of with his family. What a beautiful game. So we're all connected to this thing. And now the question is, so I look at things that I cannot know the answers to, but I can know that there's a higher solution, and I can see that higher solution going into all the souls in that space as they awaken to a higher order of being. And as they awaken to a higher order of being and begin to follow that the I Am presence is guiding them, and begin to listen to it, their awareness will expand, and eventually they will release the lower levels violence and the prevalence of anger and righteous indignation and things that are not serving humanity in creating peace. And now here's the next step. Not only do you look at where it's wrong and say divine right action prevails, the other side of that coin is to look at where it's right in your life. Where is it right in health? Where is it right in wealth, in the prosperity that's coming to you, in the fortune that comes to you? Where is it right in love, in your family and friends, and how you're honored and how you honor them? Where is it right? And now we come to a line that the master teacher Jesus said, repeated several different places in the New Testament. And what it says is, neither shall you look high for the divine or low for the divine, but behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven, another translation is the kingdom of heaven is with you. So the answer for us as light workers in the world to how can we best serve, the answer is to create the kingdom of heaven, your version of heaven on earth today, now, to look at it, to honor it, to appreciate it. As I looked out across miles and miles of deep sea, sometimes greater than 5,000 feet deep, 3,000, 1,700 feet, and miles, and all you can see is sea on all sides. And the ocean is fine. And the ocean treated me well. Praise God. The high self, working in tune with the nature itself, brought me safely across 72 miles of very deep ocean in both directions. And when you're out there looking at sea upon sea, relying on your compass, relying on the universe to work with you and for you to get you safely to your direction, that's actually how it is every day. Peter is a pilot. He's out there flying. He's working with those elements every day. And what's happening is his consciousness is merging with his skill set, merging with his love of flying, and he's having successful flights. And white light is covering and surrounding him and bringing him this joy and ecstasy from his unique experience. Peter, don't let me say anything that's not true. From his unique experience as a pilot and the gifts of inspiration that he gets from that. Well, that's a moment where he's creating the kingdom of heaven in earth as it already is in heaven. And that's what we are to do. We are to make our lives better and better, to know that the good and more good is mine, to draw that good into your life, to walk in the direction of that which brings greater good into your life, to move in the direction of love and appreciation. I had my family out there, my children and my grandchildren, and only one was not there, and he was at a camp having a wonderful time learning and growing and being in nature. So you celebrate all of the good that's around you immediately and all the good that surrounds you with your friends. My friend David Rosemont is away from his family, hanging out in Spain doing work in his film industry, and he's relying on that same presence and that same power and creating a life that works so he can bring greater good into his own family. Hi, Teray, nice to see you this morning. So this is what we're doing. It is not selfish to create the kingdom, your version of heaven on earth, and everywhere you see it, every time you experience it, you acknowledge it and see it and open up and say thank you and oh wow, I live in this beautiful Santa Monica Mountains, and every time I look out at this vista behind me, it takes my breath away, and I allow it to do that. When I drive here and watch down to the ocean and see the ocean appear, it literally takes my breath away. That's why I call it breathtaking. That's what we're supposed to do. You and I are supposed to create lives that are breathtaking. It's breathtakingly awesome and magnificent and wonderful and deep. And now it's not going to be every moment because the universe goes in waves. Sometimes you're going to be at the bottom of a wave. You may not notice the awesomeness of it. But when you can, and when you can redirect your mind to look for the good and more good is mine, there's no limit to the good. And infinite love is giving forth an infinite good, and am I receiving it? Because it's there. Behold, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's at hand. So our job is to make our best life every day to the best that we can, to celebrate, and as we talked about before, Appreciation is appreciated. When you appreciate people, when you appreciate the services they bring to you, when you appreciate your good fortune that you can pay for those services, that you are honored as somebody who receives the good and somebody who gives the good. This is a great way to keep expanding, keep becoming more aware, because this is what's really happening. As you create that good in your life, right? As you create that greater good in your own life, then other people looking at you can begin to see that there is a good life to be had. There is a good life to be created. Now, the more of us that create our own version of heaven on earth, in earth, the more we draw it forth through our thoughts, words, deeds, and thoughts, words, and deeds, right? What I'm thinking, what I'm saying, and how I'm behaving in the world, how I am seeking to be a beneficial presence in the world, how we are listening to the wisdom of the Dalai Lama, who, regardless how much he knows about his own tradition, says, you want to come up again? He wants us to come up. You can come up. He wants to say, my religion is kindness. And how can we be a beneficial presence in the world today? How can we honor other people in the world today? How can we help lift people out of their darkness? And the answer is by shining the light, by having a life that is love and joy and peace and freedom and inclusivity and moves beyond fear and doubt and prejudice and chaos. Because as within, so without. As above, so below. So as we draw in the higher good, the vista expands, right? That which rises converges. That's Barbara Marx Hubbard. We begin to see a greater possibility. We begin to look around us, even in the midst of our 60,000 thoughts a day, most of which are repetitive, and some of which are drawing from the misconceptions of the race, and they're simply not true. Violence is not a path to wholeness. Right? War is not a path to wholeness. War is not the path to peace. Peace is the path to peace. Living in peace, finding peace, honoring peace, being a peaceful presence in the world. Recognizing that everybody makes mistakes, and coming from the place of forgiveness, where we recognize it is simply your lower awareness that doesn't see yet, and I'm not going to condemn you for eternity for that. I'm going to hold that a greater divine right action is prevailing in your life. A divine right action is prevailing in the lives of all around me. A divine right action is prevailing, seeing through the confusion and revealing a greater good to each and to all. And let it begin with me. Let me be the place where I'm beginning to create more love, more joy, more freedom, more inclusion, more compassion, more willingness to bring forth my kingdom of heaven in earth as it already is in heaven, to bring forth the heaven on earth experience according to your own unique perception of what that looks like. You know, I've been to Tennessee and downtown Nashville, and I went into one of the bars, and I haven't been there much, but I went into one of the bars and I watched the line dancers. I'm not a line dancer. I'm not good at that controlled stepping kind of thing. I'm good at freeform skiing. I'm good at a lot of things, but that's not one of them, right? So I loved seeing the amount of joy in all of those people doing line dancing. Well, not everybody in the world is a line dancer, just like not everybody's a square dancer, and not everybody even likes to dance. But everybody has a rhythm. Everybody has a way to find music. Everybody has a way to find their kingdom of heaven on earth now. And whatever your unique way is, whatever way you like to express your talents, whatever way you like to bring forward your joy into the world, create it. And actually, as you do that, you're bringing a light and a way for people to see, wow, there must be a way to do this because he's doing it, she's doing it, I'm doing it, you're doing it, we are doing it. We're not the only light workers in the world. We're just a gathering here on the internet, reminding ourselves what we do, what we know, and to be a beneficial presence by bringing the higher order of being into our own life. Perfect peace, perfect love, perfect joy, perfect harmony, perfect wholeness. Joy, to heal Desjardins, is the infallible sign of the presence of God. Deeper joy in our lives, and create it each day. This is the day. Treat every morning like the morning knows your name and knows what is right for you and can bring a higher order of good in this day. See, before you take the journey across the vast ocean, see yourself successfully and safely on the other side. Already know the victory is complete. That's calling in the light of the One, the light of the high awareness, the light of the Buddha, the light of the Christ, the light of the unfolding greater good in the world. Behold, this is the dawning, where peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. And we are the ushers of that. And the way to usher it in is to usher it into your own life. So let us today practice creating our version of heaven on earth in all the ways we can. And the more we do it, enjoy it, appreciate it, and call it out, and appreciate the appreciation, and be that place of thanksgiving where it's happening, yay, 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 and we're beginning to expand a greater good in the world. I'm Harry Morgan, Moses. You are watching Coffee with Casper. We gather every Tuesday at 8:30, or most Tuesdays at 8:30, in order to just remind ourselves for 20 minutes of the power we have to bring forth a greater good into our own lives and therefore into the lives of everybody who touches our experience. If you've had any value from our time today, share this video any way you can. On Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Like, follow, spread, share. Let's invite more and more people to begin to practice from their deepest level of awareness and bringing that kingdom of the all good, everything is just right all the time, and beginning to bring that into our lives so it becomes our experience of heaven on earth. Behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We'll be back next week with Coffee with Casper. Until then, I want you to remember and to recognize and realize who you are is something magnificent. And the light you're bringing into the world is essential in what we've all agreed to do as one heart, one mind, one human family, what it is to be a human being fully alive and awaking ourselves up by being guided, guarded, protected, and directed into the highest and higher order of being daily. Until we meet again. Casper, come on up. Casper, you want to come up? Come on up. Come on. Up. So until we meet again, we invite you to go in the light, as the light and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. We'll see you next week, right here on Coffee with Casper.